Hey cool people, I'm Nick, I'm a he, him, and today I'm going to teach you how to fight Vanitas Remnant, also known as Very Ridiculous Jerk, and Mysterious Figure, also known as Mr. Fuckface, one word. Both from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Final Mix, HD, New Horizon, Black Ops, Sturgis Cerberus, Ragnarok, Honor Among Thieves, Reignited, Insane, Johnny No Legs, Big Chungus, 3.14159254358979323846, and Knuckles. Two quick things, use the base dodge form for Ventus and Aqua. Dodge Roll and Cartwheel have better invincibility frames than their Thunder and Fire counterparts, meaning you'll stay alive longer. And if you're in this just for the trophies, don't care about 100%, then play as Aqua for both bosses, because she has a fantastic dodge, the best block, and can probably crush a watermelon with her yams. To unlock Vanitas' Zebra cosplay, we just have to beat the final episode. To find him, we'll return to each character's individual story, go to the Keyblade Graveyard, land in the Badlands, then we can activate the fight anytime we like, by accepting his long, girthy darkness via the absent silhouette. Next is our setup. I recommend being around level 60 regardless of difficulty, though much more importantly, we should come with strength and magic stats being 35 or above, 40 plus in stats if possible. As for abilities, once more and second chance are non-negotiable, but honestly I think it's best to just get all the abilities. Some helpful abilities are all attack hastes, all magic hastes, all HP boosts, all item boosts, reload boost, defender, both finish boosts, fire, blizzard, thunder, and dark screens, and lastly, a single combo boost. Shot locks are irrelevant because, like a condom, we won't be using it. God, that's so dumb. We need renewal block or renewal barrier, which is block or barrier plus Curago, or block or barrier plus Asuna. We won't use any payback attacks, as those leave us wide open. We also need to use items, high potions, and panaceas because Vanitas Remnant, or VR for short, will cast Cure on himself if we use Asuna or Cure commands. Our finish command needs to be Heal Strike because we will get a ton of invincibility frames, aka iframes. It does a ton of damage and it also heals us, so it's fantastic. It's not our only option, but I highly, highly recommend it. We'll cover battle commands in the strategy section, however for VR, I recommend using Aerial Slam, Mind Shield, or Mind Square when playing as Terra or Ventus, then Seeker Mind only while playing as Aqua. And of course, high potions for all. Now let's hold our head steady and milk the cow. If you hold the head steady, I'ma milk the cow. And forget about game, I'ma spit the truth. Let's go over the attacks the cow can do. Attack 1, Clone Burst. Also, these names are arbitrary, call them Shadow Clone Jutsu for all I care. Whatever helps you remember, this is what the attack is. At the start of the fight, if we do nothing, VR will initiate this attack every single time. First, he puts up a dark barrier, then he sends out 7 individual clones, then for his 8th and final attack, he dashes at us, making a shockwave. There's an opening right at the beginning when he jumps up. If we attack at the right moment, we can completely cancel Clone Burst. It's excellent. But if we don't succeed, VR will spawn the dark barrier around himself. When the first clone emerges, it will be sent out in a ball form. As Terra, we dodge when we see the ball arc downwards, but as Ventus and Aqua, we should dodge on the downward arc, and a second time when the clone reaches us. As for the dash and shockwave, we can dodge towards the camera as Terra, or continue dodging sideways as Ventus or Aqua. Keep in mind, the dash's hitbox lingers, so don't try to attack him directly afterwards. If hit by clone or dash, we'll be given the blind debuff, and we can either use a panacea or run.
Run.
Attack 2, Dark Trap. VR will swing his body in a big circle, summoning 2 rows of 5 spikes. The background will turn black, the spikes will slam together, and then disappear as the background returns to normal. We can pretty easily dodge out of this, but if we're hit, we'll receive the blind debuff here too. Now there is a brief opening as the attack is finishing to hit VR while he's standing still, but that opening ends when the Madagascar penguin here decides to sprint at us. Attack 3, Air Slam. This is a move we've already seen. It's a regular Vanitas retaliation if we hit him too many times. So what he'll do is he'll teleport above and behind us, then slam down. But now, he'll create an ice crystal on impact. We can either guard when he teleports away. If successfully guarded, we can retaliate for some damage. But keep in mind, the ice crystal may still spawn, and frankly, this is easiest to do with Aqua. As for option B, we can dodge away, preferably towards the camera, and I'll explain why now. Attack 3.5. Just a few side notes, sometimes we can knock him out of the slam because of the backswing of our Keyblade, but it's pretty rare and really difficult to do intentionally. Other times, our attack can push us out of the slam's hitbox, so there is a chance we won't become concave, but I don't like to risk it. Also, after his air slam, if we have dodged and we hit him 1 to 6 times and he repeats air slam, we can actually briefly stun lock him by repeatedly doing our hits, dodging his air slam towards the camera, repeatedly doing our hits, dodge towards the camera, do our hits, dodge toward the camera, and then we repeat, you get it. Keep in mind, we'll never use a combo finisher because this will be us if he air slams while we're in a combo finisher animation. One more side note, as an alternate retaliation, he can use air spin instead of air slam, something I'll explain a little later, but it's instant and very hard to dodge, and he can do the spin 1 to 3 times. Beyblade, let it rip. Attack 4, Charge Blade. VR will lift his Keyblade into the air while shooting orange energy out of it, then do a thrust, a slam, another thrust, and end with a backflip followed by a big X-shaped homing blast. We need to dodge the initial blast as it can damage us, and we'll need to dodge all his attacks diagonally. Be careful as Terra, we need to dodge sooner rather than later or the slam will get us. Now technically we can knock him out of the first thrust, but it is difficult to do without a mine command or an iframe command like aerial slam or heel strike. But the opening I like to use is when he shoots the X, we'll dodge through it, and then hit him just as he lands. Attack 4.5. In Blade Charge, VR can randomly decide to cancel it after the first thrust, instead doing the final dash from Clone Burst, which has an opening to smack him from behind, also no blind debuff if we're hit. But he can also use Dark Wave, Dark Thundaga, or Dark Fire Raga instead, which will all be explained later. Attack 5, Dive. VR dives into the ground. Look, it's not a creative name, but it's apt. While in the ground, he beelines for us, then bursts out while raining fireballs around himself. Thankfully, he only does it once. Aqua and Ventus can just dodge away no problem, but with Terra, it will have to be timed perfectly, right when he's beneath us, if we're dodging away. Otherwise, we can slide towards VR when he's underground to more easily avoid it. However, we can be hit by a little flame residue from where he dived, so try not to slide into that. When he bursts from the ground, he will stand in the dropping fireballs, and there's technically an opening here, if we can get past the fireballs. Attack 6, Teleporting Combos. VR alternates 2 attacks. The first will always be the air spin, Beyblade let it rip, then he'll follow up with multiple air slashes. He can do as few as 1 of these 2 attacks, or as many as 9 of these 2 attacks. If we notice he begins this attack, we'll dodge away from the spin attack, then block directly after. If we block the multiple slashes, we'll cancel it, which gives us another chance to retaliate. Aqua can also just barrier the whole attack, or her and Ventus can dodge the whole attack. Dark Wave. VR will thrust, then do an uppercut, shooting a blue homing crescent-shaped wave at the player, the Dark Wave. Next, VR will move on to a new attack, but the Dark Wave will come back for us later for a second pass. Sometimes it can hit a rock and dissipate, which, I always appreciate that, but most likely it'll come back around for us. If we're hit by the Dark Wave, we will get the Confusion debuff. Thanks, I hate it. The initial thrust is blockable if you know it's coming, which can end the attack altogether, though sometimes the Dark Wave spawns in anyway. Attack 8, Dark Fire Raga. VR will shoot a slow homing Fire Raga ball that splits into multiple homing Fire Raga balls. Aqua can block this at any time, but Ventus and Terra need to do this while it's still slow, and if we don't want to block, we can dodge his big hot balls instead. Attack 9, Dark Cannon. First we'll see the red reticles on us, then a big blue beam. We can actually cancel the attack by attacking him when the reticles show up. However, don't do that, because the beam is easily avoided. He will turn to hit us with it, but he's so slow it basically will never touch us, and it leaves him wide open to get his Denny Phantom cheeks clapped. To reach VR, we can run or dodge around the laser, or, since the cannon is only horizontal, we can jump and air slide over it. Note, it does have a range, so we can run away instead if we need to heal, or, we can just get behind him. Either one works. Attack 10, Sonic Blade. VR will do 1 to 3 air Sonic Blade raves, and the only opening I found is when he lands from a rave, if he stands still and slowly turns to face us. And if we're close enough, we can poltergust his poltergeist face. Attack 11, his final attack, Dark Thundaga. VR will jump to do a lightning spray as he does in the main game, easily dodged if we see it coming, and he's wide open to being ghostbusted when he lands. Final thing, our times to heal. During Dark Trap, once we're out of the spikes path, anytime VR stands still and slowly turns, if we leave the range of Dark Cannon or are behind him, when VR is running towards us as long as we're far enough away, the very start of Clone Burst, during the raining fire part of Dive, and if we run behind a rock where VR can't reach us. Now that we know how to survive, how do we polterbust this spirit? Strategy 1. Seeker Mine Spam. This is an Aqua only strategy. Essentially we use 1 Seeker Mine and 2 High Potion slots, at the very least 1 and 2, and you can do more. We'll play this very defensively. We'll not use any of the aforementioned openings to strike, opting instead to dodge and Renewal Barrier to survive, letting Seeker Mine do all the damage. For the openings, we can cast Seeker Mine during Dark Trap, while the screen is dark and we're out of attack range, or even afterwards when he's running at us. Now, he may follow up with an air slam or blade charge. Regardless, we just need to stay near the mines. And during the blade charge, when he thrusts into a mine, he will be knocked out of the attack, and probably get hit by other mines as he falls down. It's very nice. There's an opening during Dark Cannon. We'll reach VR when the laser is up and Seeker Mine while standing behind him. And the last is during the raining fire portion of Dive. We'll dodge away and throw up Seeker Mine without consequence, because your boy just stands there presumably tugging his ghost dick. Strategy 2, Aerial Slam and Mine Square or Shield. Now this works with everybody, but Seeker Mine strat for Aqua is better, so we'd save this strategy for Terra and Ventus. Now if you prefer to use one command instead of two, we could repeat Aqua Seeker Mine strat, but just with Mine Square or Mine Shield, totally viable. Or we can use Aerial Slam, as Aerial Slam has iframes, and will allow us to reach Heal Strike much easier, which, as a finish command, is highly damaging, heals us, and has all iframes. Now with both commands, we'll wait for VR, aka Violent Ronald, to start Clone Burst, and we'll cast Aerial Slam to cancel it, and then press the follow-up prompts. But if it doesn't work, we'll dodge the Clone Burst as explained beforehand. After that, we'll wait for specific times to use Aerial Slam, like at the end of Charge Blade, after the X-Blast as VR is landing, and when VR is landing from Dark Thundaga. If we have Mine Square or Shield, we'll drop them during Dark Trap, Dark Cannon, and the end of Dive, just like with Seeker Mine. The rest of this is just using our Dodge, High Potions, Renewal Block, and Heal Strike to stay alive. Strategy 3, Strike Rate Cheese. The other method's not working for you and you don't want to have to try? Live free, fried brie, let's cheese this dumb ghoul. Get 5 Strike Rate commands in your command deck and put High Potion in the remaining 3 slots. When the fight starts, avoid Clone Burst and get behind the rock that was to our forward left. It has a sort of divot in the center on both sides. Get VR on the other side, and we can Strike Rate his stupid no-face head ass through the rock, and slowly but surely chip away at his health. And as long as we don't get into his direct line of sight, yeah, we're good. This strategy works for all 3 characters as well. Strategy 4, Tornado Spam for Ventus only. If we grab 2 tornado commands, we can cast it to trap VR in the air, does a ton of damage, and we can cast it right when the fight starts, or at the end of Dark Thundaga, Charge Blade, and or Clone Burst. And we only need to cast it twice to win. Easy peasy, Vanitas is queasy. Alternate strategies. The speedrun strategy I've seen is to cancel his Clone Burst and then use 2 Daisy Sorbet and defeat him with the Rhythm Mixer finisher, posted by Rainbow_Italia SRL, and their video is linked in the description. Similarly, there's one for Ventus to use Sugar Sky's Ice Cream and use the Sky Climber command style, combos, and finisher for iframes and big damage, also linked in the description. There was a strat on KH Wiki to use Aqua Spellweaver command style, but I don't know if it's just the style or if we want to spam the finisher, but if it's like the 2 aforementioned strategies, probably a mix of both with a heavier reliance on the finisher. If you want to be a little extra, you can use Confetti between command attacks, as it will make our next attack a critical hit. And I guess we could just hit him. The strategy sounds awful, but actually isn't too bad because it can trigger Heal Strike really quickly. However, I'll leave the strategy up to you. Comment any other that you know below, and for our victory, we'll get his Keyblade, Void Gear, and the trophy, a mere shell. More like a ghost in the shell. Let's move on. Okay, motherfucker time. To unlock Mysterious Figure, we just have to beat Vanitas Remnant, then land in the land of the land that you departed from. Arrive in the land of departure. Keep in mind, Mysterious Figure, aka MF, aka Mufasa, 2 words, will only unlock for the characters you've actually beaten VR with. I recommend being around level 60 or with Strength and Magic stats 35 or above, low 40s preferable. For abilities, we need once more in Second Chance. We will get M'd in the F'd in the M without those, whatever. If you only got the abilities I mentioned for VR, then also collect all Thunder Boosts, all Cure Boosts, all Treasure Magnets, and Leaf Bracer. For the commands in this fight, Shot Lock is relevant again, Renewal Block and Renewal Barrier is great, we can re-equip the payback attacks, and finish commands aren't super important because we'll probably never activate it, but I keep Heal Strike on just in case. As for battle commands, specifically, 4 Thunder Surges and 4 Kiragas is what we'll use, and it's still gonna suck. Some people like to alternate them. I personally like a block of 4 Thunder Surges and a block of 4 Kiragas using the left D-pad shortcut to return to the start, but hey, I'll leave the setup up to you. One quick thing. Does MF's aggression change based on how many abilities you have? No. Our commands are all that matter, so have as many abilities as you like. Let's get into it. Attack 1, Spear Orbs. MF will summon several orbs that will shoot multiple spears at us a total of 5 times. Aqua can barrier all of these, and with Ventus it's best to dodge these. But with Terra, well, it's almost impossible to fully dodge this attack. Even if we slide away, we're likely to get clipped in the heel, so optionally we can stand there and tank the damage, healing when it's available. Also, there's no opening during this attack. MF will walk or stand around, but like the Take Deadpool Ruin 2017 slogan, it's absolutely just bait. Attack 2, Whirlwind to the Void. Rip off Marluxia much? MF will shoot a tornado in a straight line towards the player. If we dodge it, it will linger for a bit wherever it stops, and can still hit us again if we happen to run into it. If hit by it, our commands will be thrown out of our deck and we'll have to pick them up. There's an opening for damage after we dodge the tornado as long as MF is still in his animation, otherwise he may jump or teleport away. Attack 3, Collision Magnet. MF will leap into the air and throw a whip at us, and we can dodge the initial whip. If caught, we'll be brought into the air and slammed to the ground. Like I said, we can dodge that initial whip and get an opening while he's landing. If we get caught by the whip, we can air slide away instead of getting slammed to the ground. Aqua, on the other hand, can bury her in the air, and I usually use that as a chance to heal. Take note, her reprisal, if you use it, will not hit MF. Attack 4, Raging Storm. MF will cloak themselves in 3 fire pillars and run at the player. He will charge at us 6 times while cloaked, and then on the 7th, the flames will dissipate. We can hit him when he initially casts it, but it won't stop the attack. We should dodge the whole attack, but if we're hit during it, we can either let him hit us 6 times then Curaga, or let him hit us 6 times then Payback, then Curaga. But if we dodged it the whole time, his 7th charge at us is the opening. Attack 5, Quick Combo. MF will do 6 attacks with their lightsabers, ending in a thrust, and we technically have an opening after said thrust. It's not a true opening, but Thunder Surge says, "Swiggity sass, I'm zapping your ass." Attack 5.5, Ars Arcanum. If MF uses a quick combo but keeps going in like a barrage of saber swings, then he's doing Ars Arcanum instead. We can barrier the entire thing as Aqua, but as Ventus and Terra, we can block up until the last attack, where we'll need to use our reprisal for iframes as MF's last hit will be behind us. There is a technical opening. If we Thunder Surge during it, he'll teleport away and continue the attack from where he left off, and if we're lucky, we can dodge away, but we are likely to get punished for it. Otherwise, there is an opening at the very end, assuming we avoided or blocked the whole thing. And if we're hit, we will just have to wait it out and cast Curaga at the end. Attack 6, X-Blast. Just like VR does, MF will jump into the air and shoot an X at the player. If we dodge, we have a great opening to hit him when he's landing. Sonic Blade. MF will throw themselves at the player like a drill. He'll do 4 raves. Aqua can easily barrier all 4 raves, distance depending. We may have to barrier multiple times, but Terra or Ventus, it'll be a little harder to successfully block, so I recommend trying to dodge it instead. If we're hit, MF will do more than 4 waves and lift us into the air. When it's over, we can Curaga, then before we hit the ground, we should air slide away from him. And there is an opening at the end if we avoided all 4 raves and are close enough. Attack 8, Dash Attack. MF will thrust at us, and if we're hit, he'll follow it up with an uppercut, launching us away. We can block or dodge the initial thrust, but there is technically an opening here. And if we're thrusted and launched, we can use a payback command to damage him and then heal. Attack 9, not really an attack, but more of a retaliation. Renewal Barrier. If we attack MF too many times in a row, he may pull up a yellow barrier, and if we hit it, he will heal a little bit of health. Attack 10, Clones. MF will summon 4 clones that have access to Quick Combo, Ars Arcanum, Dash Attack, and X-Blast, and they will come for you. We can use a well-timed Thunder Surge to dissipate them, or block and reprisal. Otherwise, if we wait it out, it will take about 30 seconds for them to leave on their own. So, those are the first 2 health bars worth of attacks. Once at half health, MF will add in these additional attacks on top of those first 10. Attack 11, Vanish. MF turns invisible and it lasts 30 seconds. He has access to all his aforementioned attacks, and while it's hard to see him, we can still hit him. The best times are after Quick Combo, Ars Arcanum, Whirlwind to the Void, and X-Blast, since those have the easiest to see telegraphs. Attack 12, Doom. MF will throw vines at the player. Ventus and Aqua can dodge these vines, though Terra will have a harder time with this. If caught, we will be entrapped as the timer counts down, so we'll spam X or whatever your non-PlayStation loser button is to escape. Each subsequent time we're caught, the timer will start 1 second lower, meaning if we're caught 3 times, it's an automatic death. There is technically an opening if we dodge the vines, and after we break free from Doom. Attack 13, Mega Flare. MF shoots a giant fireball that explodes when it collides with a player or wall. And yes, that means if MF shoots too high, it will float away and never explode. We can dodge it with Ventus and Aqua. It is not blockable. There may be an opening here, but the goal should be making Destiny's Child proud by being a survivor. Attack 14, Meteor. MF will drop a meteor on the player. This is not blockable, but we can cure through it or dodge it, and I don't know if there's an opening, let's just focus on surviving instead of attacking. Attack 15, Time Reversal. Now quick disclaimer, this can happen at any time we do damage. However, if we're using Thunder Surge or any command with iframes to attack, it won't happen. So you may never actually see this attack. But basically, MF, aka Most Falone, can reverse time instead of using Renewal Barrier. Now keep in mind, any button you press while time is reversing will be the next thing you do. So for instance, if you double tap attack, and the first attack triggers this move, you will attack again when time resumes its normal flow. I hate it. Anyway, after the time reversal, MF will respond with one of 3 attacks. If he teleports in front of us, either on the right or left, he'll use X-Blast, which we can use a normal attack to cancel, or we can block it. If he teleports behind us, he'll use Whirlwind to the Void, which we need to dodge. If he jumps into the air, he'll use Aerial Dropkick, which I'll explain right now. Attack 16, his final attack, Aerial Dropkick. MF will leap into the air and slam down, making a shockwave of darkness. I'm not sure if there's an opening here, I don't think so, but the good news is, this attack only happens after time reversal, so if you never trigger time reversal, you'll never see this attack. Okay, so let's talk about strategies for MF, aka Motherfucker, Mardi Gras Frank, Malicious Frenchman, Master of Puppets, Mallory Fitzgerald, sorry if I called you out, Mallory. Strategy 1, Thunder Surge. All 3 characters can win this way, but basically, we just fight him as listed above using Thunder Surge during the openings. It's probably the easiest way, but it does take some time to learn. So pro tip, don't focus on beating him, focus on learning his attacks and learning when to use Thunder Surge. Or you can let your rage motivate you, it worked for Terra. Strategy 2, Goofy Spin Speedrun. Only Ventus and Aqua can win this way. We'll start the fight summoning a fully upgraded Goofy D-Link with Goofy Spin as the finisher. And then, block MF's attacks, this will allow us to boost Goofy's command bar, then we'll use Goofy Spin to do big damage. So there are a couple of hardships that come with this strategy. Number 1, MF will use Vanish way sooner, asshole. Number 2, if we're too aggressive, MF will abuse renewal barriers, so we should try to spin in a larger circle, doing a few hits and then rolling away, then returning to keep him from activating it. We can be aggressive during our Arcanum or when he casts Whirlwind to the Void. And number 3, if we're hit by Whirlwind to the Void outside of Goofy Spin itself, we'll lose our commands and our D-Link. The upside is Goofy Spin does great damage, if we can avoid those pitfalls. It took me probably 10 tries to get it down, and I'll link the video I learned it from in the description. Now, I was going to include the Peter Pan sword build strategy, however, it's actually fucking awful and way more frustrating than just fighting MF. But if you want to be odd, it's linked in the description, along with a Ventus no command, no dodge roll method. People are crazy. But when we do beat him, first of all, congrats, we'll then receive the no-name Keyblade and get Time Teller's Trophy. Thanks so much for watching, feel free to like and subscribe for more videos like this, comment any other strategies you use, let's help people beat these dudes, and let me know if this helped you beat them for the very first time, or even if it was just an easier time on a subsequent playthrough. Have a great night. Goodbye.